OVC Football Media Days in January continue. We're going to go out north and west of Nashville, the Murray State, and see Dean Hood yet again. Coach, welcome back.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let me be the last one to welcome you back, right? You've had an extended season of welcome backs to the Commonwealth, I think, for sure. So kind of take us on this journey. Eastern Kentucky to Charlotte to Kentucky, and then this opening came about in Murray State and what appears to be a perfect fit for you.
Oh, yeah, it was phenomenal. Just very, very fortunate. In this profession, it's very difficult, to get a head coaching job, as there's, a lot of qualified people out there that would like to be a head coach. And, quite frankly, year one after Eastern Kentucky, when I was at Charlotte, if somebody would have said, hey, you want to be a head coach again, I'd probably, punch him right in the face. But after about 2 years at Kentucky, I started to get the itch. And then after that third year, I was like, man, I really would like to be a head coach again. And just very, very fortunate that Kevin Saul, spent time at Kentucky and we knew of each other and was here at Murray and ended up working out.
So you get here in December of 19, and then you're ready to roll with spring practice in March. And then this thing called a pandemic hits. So kind of take us from that point in time until where we are today in preparation for spring football.
Yeah, it's really a crazy ride. I worked a bowl game, at Kentucky and literally got done with the bowl game and went back to, Lexington, and the very next day got in the car and drove to Murray and only had half the staff hired, and got those guys together and started putting together a recruiting class. And, first thing we had to do was watch Murray film to see what we had on our current team, which was, difficult because not all those guys, were playing in the films we were looking at. So we really kind of put a class together blind and really didn't get to spend a whole lot of time with our guys. Got there, had a team meeting, and then, went on the road recruiting and signed that class and started probably about 3 weeks of winter conditioning, and then spring break hit, and our guys went all over God's creation, and the next thing you know, we got shut down. So spent a lot of time on Zooms, with the coaching staff, a lot of times on phone calls with our players, and got back together in July and thought, okay, here we go, we're going to be up and running again. And I think it was maybe 9 or 10 days after that, we got shut down again, and then we had the strangest of things. We had spring ball in the fall, and it was very much like spring ball, except it was in the fall, and really, really strange experience, but our kids did a nice job, and we got to at least, it was good for us because we got to learn a little bit about our football team. We really didn't know what we had, but got to learn a little bit about them, and, then they headed home for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then here we are. We're a couple of days out. Our first practice is Saturday, so we're a couple of days out from starting practice to get ready for an actual football season.
And, I think coaches would not like to admit this, and I'm not asking you to, but when you get to this 7-game conference schedule, a little bit of this coaching is going to be on the fly, for lack of a better term.
Oh, there's no question. It's absolute nightmare, I think, for anybody that it's inheriting a new team and putting together a new staff, just because of all the unknowns, and that's been, very difficult working through all that. But I think anybody, even if you have an established program, there's going to be so much change and so many things that are different that you're going to have to be able to, keep your knees bent and have a little flexibility in the knees and have a good base and, be ready to be on the move, at every turn.
What's it like? I'm going to have some fun. This is your second job where you've been at a basketball school, right?
Yeah, no question.
Or so it seems. How many times have you heard that cute catchphrase?
Well, it's been more than a couple. I was at Wake Forest, so I would venture to say that was, considered a basketball school. When I was there with Coach Grove on his staff. But, that really was one of the draws for me was Kevin Saul's vision, for Murray, and the fact that we had done it, at Kentucky. Coach Stoops and Mitch Barnhart and their vision for, this is a basketball school, but we're going to be a relevant team in football, and we're going to be playing for championships in football, which the second year that I was there with Coach Stoops, we played a November game against Georgia, and the winner was going to be the East representative in the SEC championship game, and so I don't think a lot of people saw that coming, and that was the same year that we, won 10 or 11 games and beat, Penn State in the Citrus Bowl. So, we want to do the same thing here. That's really a big part of why I came here, was because of Kevin Saul's vision, for doing just that, and his feeling, like he had the support, from President Jackson and the board and the people that he needed to have the support of to be able to do that.
And I do appreciate you allowing me to have some fun with that phrase, because I was pretty certain you'd never heard it before. Let me ask you another one along those same lines. For those of you that do not know you, how do we label the Dean Hood football team?
Well, I think, first and foremost is fundamental. I really would like, for, a coach to say after they played Murray that, Coach, that's one of the most fundamentally sound teams that I've ever played against. I think the schematic and all that, the guru, the geniuses, all that of the profession, I really wouldn't, want to be labeled as that. I'd rather be labeled as, your team is very, very tough. They're very hard-nosed. They're very hard-working. They never quit. They played every single down like it was their last, and had a lot of passion for the game, and they were very, very fundamentally sound.
Got two questions. I want to hang on the offensive side. You've got a returning quarterback, but you've also got 4 freshman quarterbacks listed on your roster. What is that situation like now as you look forward to practice later this week?
I think every single position is it's better when you have competition. I think that it's very hard for a human being to not have somebody pushing them, and to know that, this is my spot, and there's no way that it can't be my spot. So I think it's very, very healthy. Now you have to create the right environment, as a coaching staff, and you have to recruit the right types of kids that have the character, that can handle that situation, as well. But I think it's very, very healthy at every position to be competitive, have the right kids that, as they're competing, they can handle the fact that one of them's going to get picked, and then you got to be the guy that's supporting him every way you can, and prepare yourself like the next play you're going to be out there. So I just think it's good at every position. It's the case at quarterback. It's the case at every position on our roster.
Malik Cudicott is joining you today on this little media tour. He's probably one of the most explosive players in the league. Yeah,
Malik's a special player, not only as a receiver, but as a return guy. And, that's very, very helpful when you talk about, football, offense, defense, special teams. I think a lot of people give mouth notice to special teams, but it truly is a third of a game. It truly can change a football game at a moment's notice. So not only is Malik's value to the team offensively, but also in the special teams area.
Malik and I have a special tie because we were on a SportsCenter Top 10 highlight a few years ago. Fortunately, I was quiet enough and allowed Kevin Ingram to call the play, so I'm glad not to step over his big moment. 7-game Ohio Valley Conference schedule, something not unlike you're used to. Pros and cons of that from your perspective as a first-year coach?
I think it's a smart thing to do. I think it's a wise thing to do with the situation with the COVID and all that. And I think it's going to be, very, very exciting. I think it's awesome for, the players to have an opportunity, to play for a championship. So I just, really thank Beth and her leadership in Ohio Valley Conference for, having the vision and putting that all together, and all the work and all the stress that, went in, making it happen. So I think it's great for the athletes. I think the fans are ready. I think the people are ready for some football, even though it's gonna feel a little strange being in the spring. But I think everybody's ready for it, and I just think it's gonna be good. I think it's going to be exciting.
Dean Hood's first call to the gate, February 21st, a Sunday. Coach, we'll see you then along the way. Welcome back to the league, and we look forward to seeing the Racers.
Thanks, appreciate it.